The trail making test. These are the contents. It was developed by Partington and Leader 1949 and written 1958. What is trail making test? Trail making test is a screening instrument for detecting neurological disease and neuropsychological impairment as a part of larger battery of the test. The tests are believed to measure the cognitive domains of processing speed, sequencing, mental flexibility, and visual motor skills. The purpose of this assessment are to measure the cognitive domains of processing speed, sequencing, mental flexibility, and visual motor skills. It is also to test for the presence of brain injury. This assessment is a performance-based assessment. The administration time usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. However, it depends on the time participant to complete the task. There are several versions for this assessment, which are the translation version, the stepping trail making test, color trail test, and comprehensive trail making test. The component being assessed is used to detect various cognitive abilities such as the attention, visual spatial tracking, cognitive flexibility, sequencing, speed recognition, and many more. For indication are people with brain injury such as TBI, psychiatric disturbance, and dementia. While contraindication are someone who cannot understand and follow instruction and do not know or recognize letters and numbers. Here are the assessment worksheet for Part A and Part B. The administration procedure. In Part A, the subject uses a pencil to connect a series of 25 hexagonal numbers in numerical order, while in Part B, the subject connects 25 hexagonal numbers and letters in numerical and alphabetical order, which alternating between the numbers and letters. Subjects are instructed to complete the task as quickly as possible without making a mistake, and lastly, if an error is made, they are instructed to simply return to the point at which the error is made and continue. The administration time. There will be a time taker recorded to complete the task. If a person makes an error in the test, their completion time will be longer as they need to return to the previous circle, and the time completion will be the direct score of each part. For scoring procedure, in Part A, average is 29 seconds. Someone with deficit usually takes more than 78 seconds, while in Part B, average is 75 seconds. Someone with deficit usually takes more than 273 seconds. The rule of the thumb refers to the experience or practical rather than the theory. So in Part A, most in 90 seconds, while in Part B, most in 3 minutes. Interpretation. Higher time taker recorded to complete the task indicates greater impairment in cognitive abilities. Demonstration of the administration procedure. Assalamualaikum and good morning. I am Alisha, your occupational therapist for today. So today we will do an assessment called trail making test, which is like connecting the dot. Okay, the purpose for this assessment is to measure the cognitive domain of processing speed, sequencing, mental flexibility, and visual motor skill. Basically, this assessment consists of Part A and Part B, which is Part A, you need to connect a series of 25 hexagonal number in numerical order, while in Part B, you need to connect a series of 25 hexagonal number and letter in numerical and alphabetical order, alternating between numbers and letter. Do you understand? Alright, this is the worksheet. First of all, I'm going to show you how it works. You're going to do the practice version and then move to the real version. Okay, what you're going to do is that you need to connect the dots from number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 3, number 3 to 4, and so on until you reach the end. Okay, you can try now. Alright, now we go to the real version. Basically, it is the same. You need to connect the dot from number 1 to number 2, number 2 to 3, and so on until you reach the end. but this time I'm going to time you. Okay, you may start whenever you're ready. Are you ready? Okay, begin. Okay, great job. Now we will move on to part B. It is a little bit different because it has number and letter. You're gonna go from number 1, go to A, go to 2, 2 to B, and so on until you reach the end. Can you get it? Okay, you can try. Alright, that was a practice. Now we move on to the actual. It is the same. You need to connect the dots from 1 to A to 2, and so on until you reach the end. But this time I'm gonna time you, but don't feel pressure. Alright, you can start whenever you're ready. Are you ready? Okay, start. Alright, great job, thank you. The result shows for Trails A, she scored 21 seconds with no error, and for Trails B, she scored 32 seconds also with no error. Both scores are in the unimpaired range. The lower score indicates she has lower impairment in cognitive abilities, although she seems to struggle in connecting the dots for Trails B, as the task involved the divided attention. We can see that she has no problem in understanding the instruction and performing the task. Thus, she has no problem in her cognitive abilities. The psychometric properties. For the reliability, it shows a good internal consistency, a very strong test-retest, and excellent iterator. For the validity, it shows a moderate content or construct, and the TMT score have been found out to correlate highly with intelligence. Advantages. Firstly, it is easy to administer, less time consuming. It tests specific cognitive processes like processing speed and cognitive flexibility. It is a simple test with many detection and translation. Moreover, there is no training required to do the assessment. While for the disadvantages, instruction can be confusing for some individuals. It can be frustrating for people who lose track of where they are and cannot proceed. And lastly, the result do not translate into or give a clear picture of function. It relies on therapist's judgment to interpret find. Suitability with Malaysian population? Yes, it is suitable because this assessment is just a test to measure cognitive domains which only involve numbers and alphabets.